Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Primer. So I've heard a lot about this movie. I know it's supposed to be really confusing and that it's kind of based around time travel. So I'm kind of prepared. I've kind of prepared myself to try and keep on top of everything that's happening. I probably still will be confused, but I'll try the best I can. So I think what's really interesting about this movie is that it's such a small budget. It's only $7,000, which, you know, is still a lot of money for like a single person to raise up and to spend on a movie. But comparatively to, you know, huge blockbuster movies that are like 250 million, this is nothing compared to that. And for it to be kind of like a self-produced first-time movie and to do so well is kind of really inspiring. If you're like an up-and-coming filmmaker and you want to get into filmmaking, studying people's first films like this and their low-budget films is a great way to kind of get inspiration on what your first film should be. So before we get into it, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find full-length timer-based reactions, 1 week early access, and polls to vote on shows and movies next. So yeah, let's just jump into it.
To happen. I'm gonna read this, and you're gonna listen. You're gonna stay on the line, and you're not gonna interrupt. You're gonna speak.
I can't tell if this is the resolution or if it's just my internet quality.
Meticulous. Yes. Methodical. Educated. They were these things.
Okay, is it talking about the people who invented the time travel machine? Or is this them talking about themselves?
And there were days, good days, when by anyone's judgment, they would have to be considered clever. They took from their surroundings what was needed and made of it something more.
I haven't changed my mind or anything. Philip and I were talking, we think it'd be good. It'd be fun.
It's just the time for jacking around with Tesla coils and ball lightning in the garage is over.
I guess I could shave a couple minutes off my day by eating on the toilet.
Look, how many pens do we have? In the last 14 months, really? How many do we have?
So they're like working their job and in the spare time they're doing like experiments.
Maybe we should get into it. I mean, I talked to my brother today. He knows of at least 2 other
Definitely
cases like
should,
that
at
at his
least.
firm right now.
Let Platts know we're talking about it.
Forget.
It's a cool, it shows the disconnect between, I don't know if this is one of their wives or girlfriends and with them.
Look, as long as we're going down this road where it's 8th grade physics and a happy fun time out in that garage, I think we stand to try this. You know, Philip and Robert don't even need us for what they want to do. They just want to use the equipment. For what I want to do, we don't need them. Not even.
These two are going to go off on their own.
Is she asleep?
No, and she needs a bath.
I've seen
That's fine.
those two characters, I think they're the main two.
No, that's look, that's what this is. Okay, that's the whole difference. That's what the box is. See, this is coming after
And
that.
unmarketable.
And I'm
So they're just in their spare time trying to generate patents and things and just raise money.
We drop the box down on it. Okay, focus our own magnetic field to the gate. Knock out with the inverse what's going on inside the ceramic.
Smart.
And that should change the transition temperature. Is that going to be a problem?
There's plenty lying around at work, but they're all bar-coded, so...
Well, if I have to buy the kit...
They're stealing equipment from work to be able to do their stuff.
You know that story about how NASA spent millions of dollars developing this pen that writes in zero-G to solve the problem?
Yeah, they used a pencil.
Right, a normal wooden pencil.
Yeah, the actual
Seems like Philip takes the NASA route almost every time.
the actual thing with that though was that a pencil releases little particles that can clog up air vents, so they did actually need a zero gravity pen.
Just saying, why would they put it in there if you didn't need it?
One catalytic converter. It's fine, it's fine. Okay, your mission should be. If not, we'll pull the one out of my truck. Okay, copper tubing.
I mean, they're really committed to this, aren't they? Stealing stuff and taking parts out of their car.
No, wait. Aaron, stop. I'll just buy the tubing. This isn't saving us money. Wait, did you cut anything?
Yeah, because they'd have to buy a whole new fridge if it's out of commission. I don't even know what they're doing, but seeing kind of how passionate they are about it, it kind of helps you be invested in it with them. I'm already invested in what they're doing.
Goggles, should we wearing goggles?
I know one of the actors is Shane Carruth, and he's the one who wrote and directed it, but I don't know which one of the actors it is. I think it's this guy on the far right with the tie.
Probably just showing off.
So a bit of a time jump here or something. It looked like
What? Does it hurt?
No, I didn't feel anything. That sound is just weirding me out.
So they've got built something here.
What does it feel like?
It's like sending out waves to keep them, yeah, levitating like that. That's cool.
Let's do the next part.
Yeah.
They still haven't shown what the machine actually is or how it works, what they're actually doing.
I'm gonna put my camcorder inside the box. It's so dangerous we can't look into it.
Wait, which one is that?
It's the...
They've just got like these argon and all these dangerous chemicals in like little box.
I'm showing 7.
It's so like homemade.
Okay, let's go through the checklist. And Aaron, hold on a second. Let's make sure everything's set up right. Hold on, Aaron. Wait.
Oh,
Just wait.
he's being a bit too he just wants to get it done. He's not being cautious enough. I'm just keeping my eye on the screen to see what's happening on the inside. Okay. Didn't look like anything changed on the screen. They keep cutting before they're showing us, you know, what's happening. Sleep on the floor.
Hey, tell me you're hungry. Kara's at her mom's and I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm hungry. What?
Alright, but meet me at the door.
Okay, all right.
Seriously, meet me at the door. I'm coming up right now.
I'll do it. Okay, all right, see you.
Very sporadic cutting here, like showing him pacing back and forth.
Hey, Brad.
Has he got like social anxiety or something, or doesn't like his flatmates?
We can get some tacos on the way, or we can get a steak afterwards.
What are you talking about? I'm not paying for a steak. It's stable.
Get a steak to go celebrate.
You know, there's something wrong here. We're not pulling out more than we're putting in.
Slightly more.
So, is it like something nuclear? Because they're putting in energy and they're getting more energy out.
Okay, let's go over this again.
Is it like a fission machine or a fusion machine? Because they're talking about ceramics, which you need, about the insulation, which you need in a fusion machine. But building that at home is extremely dangerous, if that's what it is. Who's kicking it out from under? Wait, what?
Sound in a few minutes, but what does that?
Oh, it's like a magnetic field underneath. They were pushing them
I
out.
don't know. I'll tell him something. I'll tell him we're spraying for bugs or something. Should just be a day or two anyways.
Or is that someone with the time travel and there's someone under the table pushing those out?
In a matter of hours, they admitted to everything from mass transit to satellite launching, imagining devices the size of jumbo jets.
So is it just a machine that generates energy? Is that all it was?
On the positives, they knew that the easiest way to be exploited is to sell something they did not yet understand. So they kept quiet.
Okay, yeah.
These would continue.
Don't sell it yet.
What was important is that Thomas Granger, their last best hope of funding, show up.
Okay, so they're trying to get funding from that guy.
Well, here's time number 8. How's that?
Dad's age.
But he thinks we're kids.
Seriously, you call him Mr.
I do like the way this is shot. Like, this is kind of out of focus and it kind of reflects with the viewers how we're kind of, when we can't quite grasp exactly what's happening.
Realization that they were out of their depth.
Yeah, they need more funding and more research. They don't know exactly what the machine even is, do they? Whoa. Okay. That was cool. You know, when you're so low budget like this, you can be experimental with things like that. Like, that just was so great at showing, like, how you feel the temperature when you're going outside, or like if you've been stuck inside for a long time, suddenly you open your blinds and you're kind of blinded by it, by the sun.
I've been calling you all morning.
Where'd you call?
You shaved?
I'm not there. Do you have anything important at work today?
I hope you're not implying that any day is unimportant at Cortex Semi.
You did work this afternoon, and promise to do the few small things that I ask you. I will, in return, Show you the most important thing that any living organism has ever witnessed. Secreted by a fungus called Aspergillus ticor. All he really did was just take some pictures with their equipment.
Okay, that was that little egg thing they put in there. So the plastic film had turned into some sort of fungus.
Believe what? The protein? I believe you.
Okay, look.
Aspergillus ticor. This is a fungus that's everywhere. It's in our bed, in our skin, sometimes even in our GI tract, everywhere.
Did it amplify the fungus? Okay, so did they put the thing in and it amplified like the time there so the fungus grew even quicker? I think this song is quite simple with the piano.
Takes about a month.
To get the same amount I brought.
Then what is it?
Well, there's one other way that it could secrete that much protein. It could do it naturally, but that takes a lot longer. But if
Yeah.
it has a little... He says to get the same amount of protein that we have, the same amount that I was wiping off every 5 days, and 5 days later it would accumulate. He says it would take about 5 to 6 years. Screw it, and I put my watch in there.
And?
I want you to do it.
Does the watch speed up the time?
And what?
I want you to do it.
so he can see for himself.
Aaron, there's nothing to write down.
Well, then I'm writing it.
Okay, fine. Look, it travels forward normally towards the B end, and when it gets there, the feed runs down parabolically until it's just stopped, but it doesn't. It curves back around towards the A end. And when it gets back to the A end, now curve that around. Okay, now the Weeble has experienced a total of 2 minutes.
So it's like a time loop.
And it does this about 1,300 times, and when it finally exits on the B end, it's traveling an odd number of forward and backward trips.
In a minute it travels backwards and then goes again for 1,300. Does it 1,300 times?
Yep, 22 hours, 14 minutes.
So if they could do this on a larger scale, instead of it being like a minute where it loops, an hour, you could send a human in, and then they'll go forward an hour, and then start traveling backwards through time for an hour. But then you'd be stuck in that loop forever for 1,300 hours. Back and forth.
Yeah, we can publish.
No, I don't think they should go public with it yet. But it's like amplifying time.
Can enter at the B end and exit at the A end before it flips back.
Oh, I love that spinning shot. That was cool.
Here's how I'm making a bigger one.
I didn't say anything. You're the one talking about it. There's a lot more that's unnecessary. Look, what we can do is take a lot of these small plates and surround a container with a web in them.
Is we need to find some place where we can put it and turn it on, and it won't be disturbed. I mean, some
We can
place.
just lock it in the closet.
So whatever, we'll find some place. But I mean, so if we go.
Yeah, moving. That was a cool reveal.
That's a lot of.
You know what we could use?
Self-storage.
But what's next is not a prank, okay? I wouldn't do that to you, and I'm not doing that to you.
Is it going to be himself from the future? I feel like Abe's seen something more. Is it already there in the self-storage? Yeah, it's him. So there's two versions of Abe running about. So he's realised that he's done it. Has he actually like met the other one? But if that other Abe is from the future, he knows that this Abe is doing this. So I know this is supposed to be very confusing, so I'm fully prepared that some of these scenes are out of order, or maybe the Abe we're seeing is actually the future one, or something like that.
Why not the lottery?
Well, we can if you want. That's not till Saturday.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's only a couple $100,000 a year for what, the next 30 years?
Only.
Both cars. But we need to park yours way down the road, out of sight of the facility.
Wait, why are we doing that?
Because we need a ride home.
What is that?
No, it'll make sense.
Okay.
Because there's two versions of you need two cars there, so one leaves and one can...
We'll end up getting out of them, and
Right, got it. Sorry.
I don't want to be standing around when they do.
Yep.
Okay, then when it reaches zero, they go back to where it was.
I mean, I closed the windows, I unplugged everything in the room, the telephone, TV, clock, radio, everything. I didn't want to take the chance of running into someone I knew or seeing something on the news that might...
Well, then what did you do all day?
Was that when he was woken up and he was like laying on the floor? Was that what it was? Because he was kind of disoriented when he woke up.
I called my mutual fund company and asked which stock in their mid-cap fund had the greatest percentage gain that day. The idea was just to get enough information for one good trade.
Okay.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, it does a little. Bad though if you wait for the right time. In no way in which this thing would be considered anywhere remotely close to safe. All I know is I spent 6 hours in there and I'm still alive.
And you spend 6 hours inside the machine until it pumps you out the other end?
But the stopwatch still showed a couple minutes, so I trusted the math and waited.
Mm-hmm. And now is the clock just counting down the 15 minutes? So we're seeing Abe's first time now. Or is there two machines? They're both in one. Okay.
That is not a static shock. You got out too soon.
So it affected him differently. So then the current them is in the hotel. Or at least on the way to it.
You have a margin account, right?
Yeah, I do now. What are we buying?
Good. Today before 12:30, we're going to buy as many shares as we can of RGW. And the stock will nearly double in afternoon trading.
So they can only go back kind of earlier that day. So they can't be able to see too much into the future, can they? You know, they'll see that it will double today, but if it halves tomorrow...
I know there's a lot of other stocks out there that do a lot more than double, but it's my first day.
Yeah, they've got more opportunities to do this. I feel like doing it through stocks is probably better, actually, than doing it through the lottery. Because the lottery is just, you're getting sums of money. Stocks, you're getting multiplications of money. And then that's them seeing themselves leave.
Wake up tomorrow morning, and I go over to Gabriel Capital Inc. And when he comes out, I would ram my fist through the flat of his nose. Do it and go back and tell myself not to. Because I just want to know what it feels like.
Oh, yeah. So he could do it. Then if it goes wrong, go back and tell himself not to do it.
Well, the thing is, even if you do stop yourself, you're double from the flats, then why would your double get this?
And with no need for it.
Yeah.
No advantage.
Creates a paradox.
The idea stayed.
I'm not going to pretend like I know anything, okay, about paradoxes, or what follows them.
Yeah, it's by isolating themselves, that's how they avoid the paradox.
But what's worse, thinking you're being paranoid or knowing you should be?
Oh, I know they have a lot invested in the group, and I
don't want to tell him.
No,
Abe, if you need me to take the guilt on this one, fine, okay? I accept it gladly. It's mine.
You need to keep this as tight-knit as possible.
I'm not telling them a thing about this. We're not.
Yeah. The more people get involved, the more complicated everything becomes. They might want to go public with it or not go public, and just a lot more conflict.
Just kept hearing the surf. It was so uneventful.
But like some chaotic aberration here. I wonder if that's purposeful. They're doing a lot here to show how disoriented they are. Just the way it's filmed and edited and cut. That could be playing into it.
Josh, it's on your ear. Your ear's bleeding.
Side effect from the machine.
Great, can actually get some work done today.
Yeah, but he
Oh, okay. So that's the excuse to not have those two in.
All right, Rachel's ex-boyfriend walks into my birthday party with a shotgun.
You can't go risking your life, especially the welfare of Kara and Lawrence and someone like Rachel.
Okay, so someone walked in with a shotgun and he went back to stop it?
You see how different things are.
Different. How are things different?
Aaron went back to stop it, and that's why they called him a hero. Okay.
Tonight, you told me everything about the machine, okay? And everything you told me was so fresh in my head. And when I saw this guy, I'm looking at him. I was gonna let him do that.
So how about he went back further, right? If that was the first day.
I mean, you have a family now. God, especially now to risk anything would be completely crazy.
You can definitely tell, because they're on a budget, they probably had to film digital. There's definitely some downsides to that. Like the resolution, and then in there, that night shot was super grainy. but it kind of adds to the atmosphere of this.
You brought your cell phone?
Yeah, what happens when someone phones them? Will both versions of him get the phone call? But now he knows not to answer the call. This one.
Man, are you hungry? I haven't eaten since later this afternoon.
Oh, that's the phone call. You can't answer it.
Do they both ring at the same time, or is there? Well, yeah, they both ring. It's a radio signal.
No,
So
it's a network.
So the one your double has in Russellville can't be.
Right, I think we broke symmetry.
Are you sure that's how cell phones work?
No.
Yeah, it's better to just not pick it up because he knows the other one picks it up. But we didn't see if that was the exact same time that the other one got the call.
No, that's not Rachel's. That's her dad's. They have the same kind.
Did you see that? That's Mr. Granger. That's Thomas. He's sitting in that car.
Is he following us?
So someone knows something's up? Maybe he's seen both of them at the same time or something?
I'm almost positive this afternoon he was clean shaven. In fact, I know he was.
So has that guy had access to the machine? And see, they can have these kind of bigger plot points but not show them, like the thing with him stopping the guy with the shotgun and then this guy following them in the car.
Hey, what are you doing here? Come here.
This is him running around the back like we just saw visions of.
What happened? Okay, I slipped.
Is he dead?
I just want to know what box you use. These are set right. I turned them on at 5.
He could have used one and gone back to 5.
Yeah, you can't open it while it's in use.
I say we shut him off and see if he's in there.
There's no way I would tell anyone about this. No way.
Oh, I like that shot. It's only showing half his face. It's showing like dishonesty, maybe.
Thomas Granger's condition could only be described as vegetative.
What do you think he changed?
It couldn't have been much.
I don't know what we lost.
Really could not have been much.
It doesn't matter how much. It just matters that it's changed.
Look,
Yeah, it's all changed in the timeline.
Every 7 hours induces a safe sleep state. Past the room that contained their machines, and up 2 levels, he made his way to another room.
Okay.
Stored what I will refer to from here on as the failsafe machine.
Oh, he's had a whole other machine running this whole time so he could go back to right at the start of everything and stop everything from happening? Is that what the failsafe machine is? It said it'd been running for 3 days there. So with this Thomas Granger, what happened? Is this him putting himself into the medical sleep? That's what's happening. Oh, he woke up. So he put himself into a 4-day sleep. In order to do what? So he's out of the question while he goes back and does something else? Is that when he woke up disorientated? It's this shot again. Because it was himself looking down when he approached him there for a conversation. Is that what this is? Because I remember that he sees Aaron down there and then he talks and that's when he reveals the whole plot. So he's gone back to then now. And he doesn't answer because he was in the medical grade sleep. In the coma. Self-induced coma.
Not there. Really?
Yeah. This conversation did seem a bit odd the first time.
Just tired. I hope you're not implying that any day is unimportant to Cortex Semi.
That wasn't relevant to the conversation. Has he caused a paradox here by that? Because he never mentioned, like...
Give you this big speech about how we've been friends for a long time and built up trust and that whole thing. Show you the most important thing that any living organism has ever witnessed.
At this point, there would have been some.
So he was talking to him through the headphones?
Aaron would have to explain all about the storage manifest and how it showed 2 rooms under the name Abram Turger.
Okay, so he knew.
And then the bit about the modular design of the coffins and how it meant he could fold one up and take it back inside another.
Yeah.
They are not one-time use only.
So he can fold it up and multiply them.
When you know precisely what someone will have for breakfast, even in a world of tamper-proof lids.
Okay.
How?
Taking himself.
And that's where I would have entered the story. Or exited, depending on your reference.
There's two versions of Aaron.
But for reasons that are only evident to me now.
So this is
I understood you simply wanted it more.
Aaron in the future that's talking about this. The narrator is Aaron from the future.
Conversations of the day, just in case.
He's been recording all the conversations. Okay.
Prick.
You
Was that
pretend
your
to
cell phone?
prick. What the hell's that?
No, it's a
Your cell
radio,
phone?
man. I'm listening to
No,
Florida
it's
State.
radio. It's Florida State.
You look like Secret Service.
You look like Secret Service.
Hey, nice shot, Aaron.
Rick, that is ugly, Aaron.
Oh, so that's when you see how that the timeline's different.
Because I can think of about a million different ways that this can happen, and nobody comes anywhere near getting hurt. I mean, I can call her and see if she wants to do something else.
Tomorrow and every other day. What do you think he's gonna do if he ever finds her alone? I mean, this way we know exactly what.
They know where the guy's gonna be.
No, he didn't.
He never fires, not even when you rushed him.
No, he didn't. The time I wasn't there. He didn't. The time I was when I rushed him, and you know, from Robert tells you, he didn't do it tonight.
But you know, all the divergent timelines, you never know what could happen in this one.
Why can't we write like normal people?
I know what they should look like. I just can't get my hand to make them easily.
They're losing hand-eye coordination.
Comparing it to your.
Because what the world remembers, the actuality, the last revision is what counts apparently. How many times would it take before he got it right? 3.
Oh, maybe so he was lying to Abe and the night doesn't go right, so he is redoing this night, trying to stop him.
And methodically, he reverse engineered a perfect moment.
So Aaron has lived through this over and over again.
Successfully navigated, there would be nothing left to do but wait for the conflict.
And then that's when he goes out for the gun.
To a last-minute moral debate, until the noise of the room escalates into panic and background screams as the gunman walks in.
But he doesn't even have any ammo in there.
Perfect. And it must have been beautiful with all the praise and adoration he had coming. He had probably saved lives after all.
But it doesn't work this time,
Who
it
knows
seems
what would
like.
have happened if he hadn't been there.
Oh no, so it does work. The way that he was talking about it, it made it seem like maybe this iteration it didn't work and Abe was going to get shot, or Aaron was going to get shot.
I know that you don't agree with what I've done. We don't have the money back here, and we'd have to steal our own passports.
Money. We'll make money.
I'm staying here.
Why?
And that's the one up there who stayed? No, because that's Aaron up there.
They'll be building, they're going to be able to watch them forever.
Watching over their own selves.
I'll start actually taking pieces out of it. It's just a gimmick. It doesn't work anymore. And your double will say they have to move on to something else, and I will agree. They're friends.
Oh, that's the fail-safe. Fail-safe.
Let's see. Why would it that it just won't go back far enough, will it?
For me to show you what I'm capable of. But I'm telling you this now. Go out there and do whatever the hell you want. There's no way in the world I can stop you. But don't come back here.
Yeah, I tried to keep track of it as best I can, but yeah, I'm lost.
My voice is the only proof that you will have of the truth of any of this. I might have written a letter with my signature, but my handwriting is not what it used to be.
Yeah. Is he sending this recording back into the past for Abe?
That's your prerogative.
Or for himself?
You will not be contacted by me again. And if you look, you will not find me.
Okay, so that was Primer. I'm not going to pretend that I completely understand everything, but I think I have kind of like a basic grasp on it. I like to think I'm quite good with confusing movies and time travel based movies. You know, I didn't find Inception that bad when I first watched it, and you know, with a few rewatches, I can understand that fully. I definitely need to rewatch this to be able to understand exactly everything that happened. But I think even when you don't understand what was happening, there was still kind of like emotional hooks and the intrigue there to keep you invested, especially kind of with the party shooting and things like that. I was still invested even though I didn't quite fully understand. I think at the end in that timeline, we had two versions of Abe and Aaron. There were like the two that were drugged, and then the current two, which they were trying to flee the country, I guess, as a way to isolate themselves so they never run into the other two, right? I think that's what that final scene was, but I still don't quite understand why Abe was so upset with Aaron. So it seemed like Aaron, the whole time, had been recording everyone's conversations so then he could listen back to them. And then when he was listening back to them, he could understand if the timelines had been changed. That's what I understood with that. And that's how we knew that this Aaron was different when he was like sitting on the bench there. And then we saw it was different when he was in the basketball court as well, and he missed that shot when he should have landed it. You know, I just have to give major props to Shane Carruth, because it's one thing to be able to watch this and understand it. It's a whole another thing to be able to come up with this concept and do it in a way that, make a film that's still engaging, even if you don't quite understand it, and, can stand up to scrutiny. I don't know if there are any plot holes. Maybe it's just so confusing that even if there are plot holes, people haven't found them yet. I don't know. But to write a time travel story that has no plot holes is very difficult. And I don't even know if he's done it here. I really want to know if he's done anything else, because I haven't heard his name anywhere else. Before this, he used to be an engineer, so that kind of explains, he's very smart, and there's a lot of things in here, who's using a lot of terms and a lot of technology and things that is probably, he took that from knowledge that he knew himself. This must have taken ages to come up with the plot and write and everything. And then for your film to go on and win at Sundance and things like this, it's a really big achievement on just a $7,000 budget film. Okay, so I've just got like the IMDb page up and I'm looking at some details that it actually was shot on film. So maybe at one point I hope that they can get like a kind of HD remaster of it out, because you could tell it was kind of aged here. So if they do have like the master copy on film, it'd be great for them to be able to reproduce it. Yeah, saying it was shot on Super 16. Okay, so I think I'm going to try and explain the plot as best I can to just help understand it. So at the start, it all seemed pretty normal. There wasn't any real time travel shenanigans until the first boxes were made. All of that we saw with the four friends and everything, up until Abe and Aaron built like the first machine and they put their little egg in there and it came out with the fungus. I think that's all, none of that was affected by the kind of timeline shenanigans. It was then, I can't tell if Abe actually built, so one version of Abe went and built the machine. I was in the storage unit, and then he built two, then folded one down, put it in the machine, took it out again, so now there's a third machine, and that was the backup failsafe that he had running the whole time, basically, so he could just go back to right at the beginning and cancel the whole thing out, I think. And then we had everything that happened with, they went in, they started trading stocks to gain some money. At some point, Aaron started recording everyone's conversations, so he knew what timeline he was in. And then Abe gave away that the timeline was different when he'd gone back. And then we had this narrator was actually Aaron. So I don't know if what we were hearing, that was like his recording to himself. So he recorded all of that, gone back and given it to his past self. So what we were hearing as narration was the recording. Yeah, right? So it seemed like there were multiple timelines when the party happened, and I don't know if, you know, in other timelines Rachel got shot and he shot up the party, or in all of the timelines nothing happened, but it seemed like it said it took Aaron 3 or 4 attempts at that timeline to get to the right timeline, which is the one we're in, where he stopped the shooter. So, you know, I was worried there that he had tried multiple times, failed, and this time he'd fail and it would be catastrophic and he'd get shot or something, and then of course if he's shot he can't even go back. So the one thing I'm confused about is the failsafe. Did they actually use the failsafe because they'd drugged the versions of themselves? Was that so that they could use the failsafe? But wouldn't that mean that everything's reset? That's what I'm kind of confused on. And I'm confused on why Abe was so upset with Aaron during the airport. Is it just because now they have to go off and they can't interact with their families ever again? Is that what's happening? Because Aaron and Abe, they were both at the airport and Aaron wanted to leave and get out of there, and they're saying, oh no, the others still have the passports, so they can't leave. So it's like in this timeline, Aaron and Abe have to live a life of isolation now, but they know how the machines work, so, you know, wherever they go, they could just build another machine and then raise funds there. Okay, so I think that's, I don't know, that was a really quick explanation of the timeline. I mean, I jumped over a lot of things there, but I think that's it. So I mentioned Inception earlier, and we'll talk about kind of Inception, this, and Tenet, because I feel like I didn't super enjoy Tenet because I feel like there's like a balance of trusting how much the audience knows and can keep up and how much you want to hold their hand. This doesn't hold your hand at all, but I think it knows that it's the type of people that are going to be watching this are going to be like film nerds and people who want to rewatch it over and over again. There's enough intrigue here that people want to rewatch it, and just like, even if you don't understand what's going on here, I still felt invested. I think that's what it does really well. Okay, so I think what I liked this and didn't like Tenet was Tenet, it kind of tells you don't think about things too hard, and that I find that kind of lazy when a plot is so difficult to grasp. You know, writing a difficult to grasp plot doesn't make you a good writer. Making it understandable is what makes you a good writer. And here, while it's not understandable in the first watch, I feel like it will be later on, and Shane Carruth kind of trusts that you will rewatch it. Whereas with Tenet, I've rewatched it a few times and there's still a lot I don't understand, and there's kind of like a lot of logical inconsistencies that I still don't get. And, you know, maybe that's just me, but the way Tenet, it says, you know, don't think about it too hard, just feel it. I feel like that's kind of lazy. I don't know. I just feel like it works here a lot better. It was cool to see, you know, some of the side effects too, how the ears were bleeding and they're saying they were losing hand-eye coordination. And I think, is that why when there was like the version that had time traveled, he missed that the basketball shot because his hand-eye coordination isn't as good anymore? Is that why that was? And there's probably things you can pick up where someone's writing something down and they're writing it badly, so you like, that gives away that this is a version that has time traveled. There's probably things like that I've missed and you'd pick up in second and third viewings. Okay, so I think that's everything. I still don't fully understand everything here, but I still really enjoyed it. But, you know, I wasn't expecting that. I went into this knowing that it was going to be a difficult watch to understand everything. Kind of the characters and the intrigue still kind of hold you through all of that. And because it's so short as well, I think that helps a bit. And that helps because it makes it a bit more rewatchable as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment or even subscribing to the channel so you can keep up to date on future reactions. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.